Hello, I'm Segun, and we believe that entrepreneurship is something we must develop in Africa and indeed the developing economies of the world. That is why we have this program called Let's Talk Business on this station. We want you to watch because we sit down with entrepreneurs and they encourage you on how to develop your own entrepreneurship business. Keep watching Let's Talk Business on this station.
Let's Talk Business showing on the station.
Welcome to Let's Talk Business. My name is Segun, and on today's episode of the program, we're discussing entrepreneurship with a particular gentleman who's here to show us things we need to know about developing ourselves as entrepreneurs. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Timothy Ikhide in the house. Timothy Ikhide is a senior consultant with Meatwork Limited. They are into business development and many others. Timothy, welcome again to the program.
Thank you very much.
You were sharing something with me earlier on about entrepreneurship. I would like my viewers to hear that. Go again, what you think entrepreneurship is?
For me, basically, I see entrepreneurship as the entire process of moving an idea into a product or a venture and building it into a platform that becomes profitable for the entrepreneur and for those around him. So entrepreneurship is most often not just about you. It goes beyond you. You're creating a platform that's going to be profitable for you and it's for the society at large. That is entrepreneurship. All the way from nothing, just an idea, and you move into something profitable, tangible. That's entrepreneurship.
Something profitable for not just you, but for your society that is just surrounding. Because most people start going to business today and they're looking at what is in it for me? And many people will tell you that the main purpose of going into business is really not to make money initially. Yes. It's to provide solution and service to people, and at the end of the long run. Talk to us about that.
You know, when you look at entrepreneurship, you're trying to take something from something intangible to something tangible. You most often will take an idea or concept based on a need you've identified. Right. For example, I come into a place and I see everybody here is barefooted. Nobody's putting on shoes and all of that. And I say, okay, I look at their status. These people can afford shoes at this level. These are the kind of people, these are the occupation, this is their taste. I take in all of that and I put it together. Because I've seen a need, it's an idea, I take that need, I bring up a product, and I'm going to put in a structure together that enables me to get this product to them. And at the end of the day, they are willing and able to pay. They are happy, I'm happy, everybody's happy. So entrepreneurship begins first of all basically from having an idea that identifies a need. I've seen a need, it's a niche. I need to satisfy that need, and I go into an entire process of satisfying that need, and the rest is history.
What if you already have people in there that are providing solution to that need, but are not providing adequate solution? What do you do?
Most often, if you, like they say, there's nothing new under the sun, in quote. So if you're coming into a particular sector, you have an idea and you feel it's a wonderful idea, you want to be able to identify the need, you come in and you do a good study, a good survey. You look at people already in the business, people already in that sector, doing stuff and all of that. Most often, that industry is not full already. It's not taken completely. And so you come in, you create a niche for yourself. If, for example, some people are doing just a particular kind of shoes, you come in and you identify a group of people that what you want to satisfy is shoes for babies. Or you say, okay, you know what, people are doing shoes for adults, I want to do a particular kind of shoe, just rubber shoes. What you do is, you look for a niche. You look at what is on ground already. There's always room for improvement. Like they say, that is the largest room. You look at what's on ground already, and you add sometimes just a bit. Sometimes just a bit you add to it, and
it makes a difference.
It makes a lot of difference. So if you're coming into a sector where it's already, in quote, saturated, all you need to do is create a need for yourself. But make sure it's based on a need. Ensure there's a market for the product you're bringing out. Or else you might just as well be running an NGO.
I like that. You might as well be running an NGO if you don't have a market for the product you're producing. So this idea you shared with me about the real estate issue, tell us about it.
Okay. Real estate, like you know, in any part of the world, is a major service, a major product for any part of the world. I happen to live in the Lekki axis, and as date is the third fastest growing area in the world. Wow. The rate of growth is massive. There are a lot of people moving into this axis, and the rate of appreciation in real estate in Lekki axis is almost over 100% within a year. And so looking at all of this, the real estate sector in Lekki Ekpe axis alone is worth billions of naira. And so at Meatwork, considering all of these activities going on in the Lekki Ekpe axis, we saw a need. First of all, so many people have had issues with real estate on that axis where I need a place to stay or I need to buy a place. Someone introduced me to a so-called agent. At the end of the day, I'm duped. Or I need to get a place. Somebody who says he's an agent is actually a quack. He doesn't know what he's doing. Or I actually need a place, but I don't even know who to talk to. The platforms are not structured. A lot of them are not in place. And so we came up with an idea. An axis this busy with real estate should have a platform where, even if it's just once a year, everyone in that sector should be able to come together and say, let's talk. Let's educate ourselves. Let's improve what we're doing. Let's check how far we've been going. And so we come up with what we've called the Lekki Ekpe Real Estate and Business Conference. And of course, we're doing it in partnership with the Lagos State government. The whole idea behind this platform is basically creating a platform for people in real estate to come together, to learn, to network, to meet each other, to be better at their business at the end of the day. And the first the maiden edition we had hundreds of people. We had like 12 speakers, but of course the Lagos State government, commissioner, and the federal people were on ground. A lot of panelists, speakers were on ground, and many issues were raised from real estate. How can I access funds? We actually had the CEO of the Nigerian Mortgage Banking Association on ground, and there were issues about how do I access mortgage. The average individual wants to own a home. That's right. The average individual. But you might not own a home, not because it's not possible, but because you are not aware of what it entails. You know, so we had all of these people on ground talking about how you can own a home, how you can access funds, how you can pay instrumentally, and all of this platform. Lots of people were satisfied. In fact, we actually had, it was a 2-day event. We had someone who came in the first day, and by the second day, came back with a testimony in quote saying, I met someone here yesterday, and we actually struck a deal today that's going to be paying me some hundreds of thousands already within the 24-hour period. And that's the kind of platform we wanted to create, to give people a platform to get solution. So that guy will forever be happy I came to the Lekki Ekpe Real Estate and Business Conference. So basically what we're saying is we identified a need. There was a need to create a platform for people in the real estate industry, in the Lekki Ekpe axis in particular, to come together. And we created that platform. The response was massive. A lot of people were like, wow, where have you been? It's like, we've been waiting for this all the time. What took you so long? You should have come earlier. You should have said it. A lot of people were willing to pay virtually any amount we're willing to ask, because it was a need. And when you get a need and you bring in the right products, people most often are willing to pay whatever is the price you're putting on it.
I agree with you perfectly. And I appreciate the fact that Meatwork did put this together. But I'm going to ask you, I know you started Meatwork from the scratch. Yes. By the way, Meatwork means make it work. Yes, because most young people don't want to work. At the end of the day, our generation, people don't want to work. People are looking for white-collar jobs. Okay. They're looking for jobs and not looking for work. But it's the work at the end of the day that becomes a job. You know, so how are you able to start Meatwork? Because I know this is basically not what you studied in school. If I ask you now, but you were able to go into this. So what was the starting point for you?
Right. I think the starting point actually was from my school days. When I discovered myself, I discovered my purpose, I discovered this is who I am, this is what God has called me to do. And I usually would describe myself with one word, that's a builder. I'm called basically to build lives and organizations. And that's basically what, in a nutshell, Meatwork does. And so out of that, I'd been in several projects, helping people, of course, unofficially, helping people start off organizations, helping people fine-tune their product, helping people package things and all of that. And I did it without asking for pay because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the whole process of analyzing, you know what, we want to do this, let's sit down, we brainstorm. I can brainstorm for hours, I can brainstorm for days. I enjoy it. It's what I love to do. You know, at some point, I moved into Lagos and I started working with a particular organization called the International Business School, the International Christian Business School. And my main aim of working with that organization was to learn. I had an idea that what I'm called to do is largely into helping business people, training and all of that, helping people package their business, providing solutions that people can harness to satisfy themselves. And so I keyed into working for International Christian Business School, in quote, without pay. My arrangement with the owner was, you don't have to pay me. Just let me come. But I had access to free classes. I had access to all of the lectures. That's actually where I first met Fela Durotoye, many years ago. I had access to all of the classes and all of that. And so in the process of time, with all of the experience I gathered, with all of the knowledge I gathered at that school, and then with other jobs I've been doing, most often free of charge, it came to me that my core is making it work. Because at the end of the day, what we want is whatever you have, if it's an idea, if it's a product, it's a concept, whatever it is, you must make it work. Like one of my mentors will say, nothing works like work. So you need to learn to make that idea, make that product, make that concept, make that passion, whatever it is, make that vision, make it work. And there's always a process to making it work. Wishing for it to work will not make it work. You need to work for it to make it work. And so that's what Meetwork is all about. We come in to give you the technical and the professional support in ensuring that you're able to make yourself, because first of all, you are an enterprise on your own, first of all, to ensure to make yourself and then your business work. Because at the end of the day, if you can get yourself and your business to work, every other thing will fall in line. So that's basically what Meetwork is all about. That's how Meetwork came. So the name came up, making it work, and we brought it down to Meetwork. The whole idea is business support service. Make it work.
Many young people don't know how to make their life work, especially those who are stuck up in a job, and they tell you that, oh, I don't like this job.
You can say that again.
But I'm here.
But I'm here.
I
don't have an option.
I like the salary, but I don't like the job.
Like the job.
What do they really need to do to make it work for them?
Yes. For me, a lot of people are stuck where they are because of the lack of self-discovery. It begins from there. First of all, you must know who you are. Like they say, until the purpose, Dr. Myers will say, until the purpose of a thing is understood, abuse is inevitable. When I'm somewhere where I know I'm not supposed to be, but I'm stuck there because I just like the pay, but I'm not satisfied, it's abuse. I'm abusing myself, I'm abusing my calling, I'm abusing my purpose. I know this is not what I'm called to do, but because of the money, because I'm afraid, I'm just stuck there. It's called abuse. So it begins first of all from discovering and understanding who you are. And out of it, which is why entrepreneurship actually flows out of the entrepreneur. You first of all, you discover, oh, this is who I am. And then you must be bold. I've worked with a lot of people who want to move from paid employment to self-employment. A lot of times, when you get into paid employment and you're earning a good salary, it can become a trap where they are so scared to step out. If I step out, how do I pay the bills? Especially if you live in a city like Lagos. How do I pay the bills? How do I maintain my car? How do I maintain all the good life I'm living? How do I maintain status quo? How do I ensure that I don't come out now and I'm down, I'm back to ground zero and all of that? And so this fear keeps a lot of people stuck in a job that they do not enjoy. And some for years, some for decades. Or not understanding that the same company where they are stuck in, somebody at some point took a step and stepped out and started something, and now they can be employed on that platform. Not understand that they can also replicate that. So if I'm stuck in a place, one of the first things I need to understand clearly is this who I am? If this is not who I am, then I must be willing to take the step. It's a bold step, but it must also be a calculated step. You do not leave a good paid job. For example, a family man, you have bills, and you just leave a good paid job in the name of, I want to run a business, and you jump out. Without thinking, you are going to so hit the floor hard. So hit the floor hard. So a lot of us have had mentors who have gone ahead of us who made such mistakes. And so it's not right for us to allow ourselves to make that kind of mistake. For example, I'll mention something here. In Meetwork, we actually have a product we call P2SE. What does it mean? Paid to self-employment. It's a roadmap we put together for people who are in paid employment that actually want to move from paid employment to self-employment. All we're saying is you can make the move, but you need to be able to have a roadmap. The roadmap simply means it's a strategic move. You don't just jump out. You need to be strategic. I can decide I want to run my own business, and I say, okay, but I need to work in this company for the next 5 years. And what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to raise funds. I'm trying to get enough network. I'm trying to get enough experience. I'm trying to understand professionalism. I'm trying to understand how all of these things, you know what you're trying to acquire. So when people get into jobs, and I know I'm going to do this job for a while, eventually I want to run my own organization. It's different from somebody who just comes into a job and say, I'm just working because when I'm out of school, the next thing is I should work. I need to make money. I need to be earning a salary. No, I get into a job. Okay, this is who I am. I run this job for a while. I do this job for a while with a plan to, while I'm on the job, I will start off something on the side. Something that would move towards where I eventually want to be. And most often it is wise to, if I understand who I am, to always align myself in a company where it's not too far from the organization or the line I also want to branch into eventually. If I'm an engineer, for example, I actually have a friend who is an engineer, and right now he actually works in a bank. It will make sense for him to tomorrow to leave a bank and wants to run an engineering firm again. It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. You understand?
There's a big gap.
Yes. So if, for example, I say I want to run a financial organization, I should look for a job in a bank or an insurance company or in the stock market, something like that. So I get all of the experiences. When I kick off an organization of my own, it all comes to bear. It would make things faster and easier for me. So I think people who are stuck on the job should, well, if you're a Christian, prayerfully go back to God, discover first of all who they are, and begin to look for, based on who they are, what is the product, what is the service, what is the need they can satisfy that they can turn into a product or a venture. And then roll out a plan. It can be a 1-year plan, can be a 2-year plan, can be a 3-year plan, but roll out the plan to say, by so and so time, I would move fully into my own organization. Of course, you must consider your financial backing. It is very important. It is very, so if you're going to venture out from where you're working, I'll give you a few things you should look at. First of all, you should be aware of the sector you want to move into. No matter the product or service, whatever you're bringing out, it most likely belongs to a sector that is already existing. So you must know the sector you want to go into. Understand the sector and begin to understudy that sector. Understand what is going on there, who are the high players, what is obtainable, what's not obtainable. Understand that sector. Also, you must understand the market. The product you're talking about you want to move into, is it marketable? Are people willing to pay for it? It's like they always say, you try to sell a fridge to an Eskimo. It's a tough one. Why would you stress yourself? You know, look for a product that people would most often want to buy. It's satisfying a need. And so your marketing will be a lot easier. Look for a product that will satisfy a need. So you understand your sector, you look at the market, and then you look for advisors. One of the things I found out in my times of consulting for people when it comes to starting and running a business, one of the greatest challenges we have with business people is the lack of business acumen. It's not the lack of funds. It's the lack of business acumen. The average business owner in Nigeria does what I call trial and error business. They go into ventures without enough understanding of what this venture is all about. You just get a few things there. Somebody said this, somebody said this, somebody told you. I've had people who worked in a private company for 15 years and now they are retired and they get 50 million. And they dive into a particular venture. And my brother, in 1 year, their 50 million is gone. With all the word of experience they had in the corporate world where they're working, the whole 50 million is gone. Because when it comes to starting and running a business, it's a different ball game from working as a manager in a bank. It's a different ball game from working as the manager in Mobil or in Shell. It's a different ball game altogether. So you must equip yourself. You must understand the sector, understand the market, and put the right people around you, and commit to continuous self-improvement. Every business owner must be committed to continuous self-improvement. It's a lifetime commitment because your business most often will not go higher than you. If you're ignorant, your business will start at a certain level. But if you commit to improving yourself, you find out your business will definitely improve. Like Pastor Sam will say, I'm a product of books. It's one of the easiest ways to improve yourself right now. There are books everywhere, soft copy, hard copy, whatever copy you want. So a business, or somebody is going into business, right now I'm actually working, but I want to go into this line of business. I should commit to reading books on that line even before I get into that sector. So tomorrow when I get into it, I'm not doing trial and error. I have an understanding of what's obtainable. I know what can work, what cannot work. Not because I've actually experienced it, but because I've been in the shoes of people who've experienced it. I've read their stories. I'm learning from them. Somebody took 50 years to learn something, and I take his book. I would not spend 50 years to know that thing again. It might take me maybe a few years to perfect it. But instead of doing 50 years, because I've read his experience, I'm now spending 2-3 years. I'm achieving. It's called jumping steps. That's what I call it. With knowledge, you can't jump steps. Rather than do 50 years, 5 years, I'm good. You know, so if you're going to move, you must be very informed of where you're moving to. It's only a foolish man that wants to jump to somewhere else, and you can't really see where you're jumping at yet. You just go ahead and you fly.
And put all your 50 million in.
Put everything in and you just fly. And that's what a lot of people do without knowing. They think they actually know, but they do not take enough time to sit down. And that's why I always tell people, it is always very profitable to have a business plan. That's the one tool that works for business people. It brings everything to the table for you.
I'm going to stop you on that note of the business plan, because I know if we continue talking about the business plan now, it's a whole new...
We're definitely
so will you promise us you'll come for another episode of the program?
Definitely, my pleasure. I will.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very
Mr. Timothy Ikhide. You heard it up from Timothy Ikhide on how to develop your own business. I'm sure you learned something from today's episode of the program. On another episode, we will further our discussion. Thank you for watching today. My name is Segun Manuel, and we have been talking business.
One of the advantages of the third world countries is that they are emerging. They are dynamic.
You employ people. What is the minimum wage that people are supposed to be paid for the kind of job they're doing?
Hello, welcome to Let's Talk Business. My name is Segun Manuel, and on Let's Talk Business we look at how to build entrepreneurship, not just in Africa but in the developing nations of the world. I urge you to join us here to watch Let's Talk Business weekdays on this station.
Imagine Africa.